So, guys, what if I told you that a movement which started as an internet joke ended up shaking up Indian politics? And it's not a big political party, there's no billionaire funding, and there is no celebrity actually who is endorsing it. Just memes, Instagram, and millions of angry young Indians. And within weeks, this movement forced one of the India's most powerful union ministers to step down. And this is the unbelievable story of Cockroach Janta Party, or CJP, which is actually a movement which many are calling India's first true Gen Z political revolution. But how did a single word turn into a nationwide protest? And what does this mean for the future of Indian politics? And that's what we're going to talk about. We'll talk about this in 5 chapters. In chapter 1, we'll talk about something that nobody saw coming. For example, everything began with just one controversial remark. During a Supreme Court hearing, the word cockroach became linked to unemployed youth, triggering a huge outrage in social media. But instead of just feeling insulted, thousands of young people embraced them. They changed their profile pictures, flooded social media with memes, and proudly started calling themselves cockroaches. Soon, the Cockroach Janta Party was born, not as a traditional political party, but as a decentralized protest movement which is powered entirely by social media and organized by youth. And what started as a meme quickly transformed into a serious movement demanding examination reforms, actions on youth unemployment, and also greater accountability from the government. And in chapter 2, we'll talk about the internet, which actually became the battlefield for politics. At first, many politicians actually dismissed CJP entirely as just another, like viral internet trend that would just disappear in few days or so. But Gen Z had different plans. Instagram Reels, WhatsApp groups, X posts, and YouTube videos, even Instagram pages for each state actually spread the entire message faster than traditional political campaigns that could ever do this. Within days, students from different parts of India began organizing, sharing information, and joining protests. And all this happened without a central headquarters. The headquarter is basically the internet. And this movement continued growing every day because every supporter became part of this campaign. And it was one of the clearest examples of how social media could transform online frustration into real world action. In chapter 3, we'll talk about a victory that no one really expected. What happened next shocked the entire country. Thousands of students gathered in Delhi in protest as this movement spread from social media to the streets. A lot of people actually joined the campaign. Demonstration continued for weeks. And this pressure kept growing until Education Minister Dharmendra Pradhan resigned after such a huge protest and nationwide attention. And for many young Indians, this wasn't just about one minister leaving office. It became proof that ordinary citizens, especially young people connected through the internet, could influence national politics without belonging to any particular political party. And in chapter 4, we'll talk about why CJP, which is Cockroach Janta Party, changed the Indian politics. CJP is important not because of its unusual name, but because it represents a completely new style or a new generation of politics. And previous generations relied on television, debates, newspapers, political rallies, and so on to gather actually supporters. But Gen Z communicates through memes or Instagram reels, WhatsApp, YouTube, and live streams. And news spreads in minutes instead of days, and politicians can no longer control every single narrative that's happening in social channels. A single viral post can now reach millions even before an official press conference ever begins. Whether CJP survives as an organization or not, it has already shown that India's youth can organize, mobilize, and make their voices impossible to ignore. In chapter 5, we'll talk about whether this is going to be the beginning of an entirely new revolution. And the biggest question now is whether CJP was just a one time protest or the beginning of a completely new political era. And a lot of supporters actually believe it has shown that India's youth can unite beyond traditional political parties and force those in power to respond. And critics say that sustaining this movement, building leadership, and turning online energy into lasting policy changes will be very much harder. But one thing is already clear: India's Gen Z is no longer staying silent. And whether you support the movement or not, the old belief that young people don't really care about the nation politics has completely been challenged. And if this generation continues organizing with the same passion and determination, then Indian politics may never look the same again. What do you guys think? Is CJP the beginning of India's next political revolution, or it's just another viral internet moment that will just pass away in a few days or even after just one protest? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel to get to know about all the important things that are happening in the world. And not just that, along with the long form videos, I'm also posting everyday breaking news in my Instagram, Facebook, and also YouTube as shorts and reels. And don't forget to follow and subscribe to those channels as well.